Yeah.
A little over. Just okie dokie portion over. So what do you got?
It's good. Nothing. I was, going back to the UFC. I mean, obviously, Dustin Poirier, may have retired. I mean, he didn't leave his gloves in the octagon, so I know he talked about it. He was prepared for it emotionally. I heard at the press conference that he wants to retire. He's ready to retire, but he's still keeping options open if there's that one special fight for him. So do you think he's done? Do you think we'll see Dustin? And where do you rank Dustin in like the hierarchy of legend, contributor to the sport, the growth, legend?
A huge name. Definitely a huge name. I think if he can get Conor again, he would obviously take that. Everybody would take the Conor fight.
Sure. For the money fight or just the status?
The money.
Recognition?
A little of both.
Okay.
A little of both.
And fought him, what, 3 times?
And I don't, 2 or 3. Yeah, I'm not sure. And when it all comes down to it, and like I was disagreeing with the over okie dokie, or was he under the okie dokie fan? Was he okie dokie, or was he just below okie dokie?
Who?
The guy that I said about the Rays and Longoria.
Oh, is it okie dokie?
I think he was just below okie dokie. But who are we to say no? Don't go make money. We all work for money. So if Dustin Poirier can get a fight that'll interest him for the money, it's a money. And I continue to say, let's be honest, okay? All BS aside and whatever, and I'm going to disagree with all of my friends, Chuck Liddell, Nico Price, Mickey Gall. You're not fighting to entertain people. You're fighting because it's your job. You enjoy fighting. Do you want to be entertaining while you're fighting? Sure. But you're doing all this for money.
Do you think, because the motivation, right? I think at a young age is one day I want to be world champion. And you see Philip Rowe just talked about how he talked about his insecurities of like, I don't know if I'll ever make it. And when he first started out, he's like, I don't know if I have the talent. I don't know if I'll ever make it to the UFC. But now he's living his dream, right? So you have to have that internal motivation, that internal drive, like to make it. So Dustin's been that guy that's been so close to being the undisputed champ multiple times in his career. He's had absolute wars with people like Dustin Poirier or Dustin against Gucci.
Hold on a second. Hold on. You've been giving me crap to get this started, which I have started. I have reached out. What are you doing?
I'm just saying. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
No, I'm just talking.
I'm waiting.
Prop. That 3-letter word. And I did tweet out to the U.S. Army. Listen to what I'm saying.
I am. No, I'm listening.
I reached out to the U.S. Army.
Okay.
Let me rephrase it. I reached out to the U.S. Navy, the U.S. Marines, the U.S. Army, and what's the other? Oh, and the U.S. Air Force. And the Air Force. So I reached out to at least the 4 military. No, I did not. First of all, I wouldn't reach out to the Coast Guard because, like me, how many coasties have been in a war?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. They only go 6 feet from land. So how
you say how
things? How far can they go?
I think we should have some Coast Guard guys here to back that up.
I have reached out to the military.
Okay.
And a lot of people, including the one person you and I discussed, say that I take things like it's my way or the highway and all that, which isn't true. I believe what I believe. I don't care if you believe it or not. Okay. That doesn't mean you're wrong, and it doesn't mean I'm right. I don't like when you call a fight a war. So you have gotten on me. You want me to start crap with fighters, which I'm not going to do just yet. I'm going to reach out to the military, most that have been in wartime, and see if they have thoughts on it.
Because it probably matters differently if you've actually experienced wartime.
I would think so.
Than if you just served like during off term or when we're not at conflict as a nation. So I think it matters differently. But when you have a guy like Dustin Poirier in the middle of the octagon after his final fight of his career wearing a war hat, and I think it's just become part of the language of the terminology of combat sports. It's like, hey, I'm going to war. It's going to be a war. And that's why we always ask, like, what do you expect to see on Saturday night when you enter the octagon? And we keep track of, like, fireworks, battle. It's going to be war, right? So I don't know if it's disrespectful to the military. We should get the combat fights community to be more sensitive to that for our veterans who actually did go to real conflict to defend this freedom we all live in.
And here's where I'm going to disagree with you. Just like I changed my opinion on kneeling during the national anthem. Okay?
You changed your opinion on kneeling?
I did.
What's your opinion now?
First, do you want to know what my opinion was then?
Yeah, what was it then?
Okay, my opinion then was I hate it. I can't stand it. It's disrespectful. You shouldn't do it. It pisses me off. I've been in disagreements, almost fistfights in press boxes. That was my original feeling.
Out of principles.
Not out of principles.
Out of tradition.
It's the national anthem, and that's my opinion.
Okay. And what's your opinion now?
My opinion now is you have a right to do that. Of course, it still makes you a donkey and a moron and disrespectful and blah, 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 blah.
In your opinion.
In my opinion.
Right.
Well, that's the only opinion that I can give you is mine, right? So in my opinion, and as the late former person who disliked the show and now the president of the fan club, of course it's my opinion. I'm the one giving it. So before I thought you were wrong and you were blah, 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 blah. Now you have a right to do it.
Okay.
You have a right to call it a war whether I like it or not. Whether the president remembers what war even is, or or whatever. So that's where I've changed. So I can't, and nobody should say you can't say the word war. Well, who are you to tell somebody no? Not that it bothers me. It's just people throw words around, not understanding what a war is.
Are you very rigid with your principles and the traditions that you grew up with? Is it that? Because you're pretty cut and dry. There's not a lot of gray area with you, right? A lot of people are blended, right? You're very yes or no. So traditionally, they say if an American flag touches the ground, that you must burn it.
It gets burned.
Have you ever burned an American flag? Or have you had one touch the ground? And did you follow through and actually burn it?
I did.
Did you really?
Yeah. I took it to the VFW.
What?
I called a restaurant in Pinellas Park, I think it was on 49th Street, and ripped them a total new. I mean, that flag was disgusting. It was ripped. It was from flying, nonstop. Well, technically, you're not even supposed to leave a flag out at night.
In the rain, right?
No, not in the rain. If it's not a light, how light is supposed to be on it.
Oh, it is.
So if a light's on it,
okay,
it's okay. But if there's no light, it's supposed to come down.
Change the rules on ripping.
So, but yeah. So that was my. So what was your?
They changed the rules on ripping.
Because what's that sensation like to light a flag? Because
I didn't do it.
You said
I said I took it to the VFW
for them to do it.
For them to do it.
Oh, okay.
To do it properly and whatever. I mean, you remember the Dodgers where the fan ran out on the field with the flag and he went to burn it, and one of the outfielders ran by and scooped up the flag. Now that flag needs to be destroyed.
Right.
Because of the rules.
Could have just let the first guy continue the job, though. If you're going to burn it anyway.
I guess there's a way to look at that. All right, let's hit the bottom of the hour of the break. Then we're going to head out to Las Vegas as we get ready for UFC Fight Night. And our first guest from the UFC, Punahele Soriano. I hope I got that at least close. At least I think I got the Punahele right.
I think you did.
So, all right, let's hit a break.
We'll
be right back.